Welcome, dear friends, to another discussion from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we continue with the discussion between King Nimi and the 9 Yogendras, 9 kings of yoga, Yoga Indra. And this is sometimes called the Nava Yogi Samvad. Nava, 9 yogi. You know what yogis are? Samvad discussion. Discussion with the 9 yogis. But of course, these are not just any yogis, these are Yoga Indra. That is, these are kings of yoga, the Indras of yoga. So there are 9 of them. And so we have 9 questions posed by King Nimi. Today's question concerns Karma Yoga. But before we go there, I'll chant some verses of invocation before discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 2. Shri Sutta Uvacha Ya Pravajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Vaipayano Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Binodus Tam Sabuta Hridayam Munimantosmi. Srila Sutta Goswami said, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that great sage, Sukadeva Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyas, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread, or the ceremonies observed by the higher castes, his father, Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, called out, 'My son!' Indeed, only the trees, which were absorbed in the same feelings of separation, echoed in response to the aggrieved father." Text 3. Yasvanubhavam akila shruti sharameka adyatmadipam atitir satam atiti satam tamodam samsarinam karunaya hapurana guhyam tam vyasasonam upayami guru muninam. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who, out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge, after having personally assimilated it by experience. One more, I think. 1, 2, 4. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udhirayet. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. There we are. Welcome, Monica Sharma, joining us from Sydney, Australia. So grateful you could join us. We have also with us Shama Manjari, joining from South Africa, from Uitenhage or Port Elizabeth. So we also have friends with us on Instagram: Ganesh Indian, Adam Connelly, Sanjay Panchal, Majumdar Jidiya, Devesh, and Arachana Sudhavat. Thank you all for being here. We are discussing the Nava Yogi Samvad, or the conversation between King Nimi and 9 Yogendras. Our question today is, what is Karma Yoga? This is a good question. A lot of yoga centers today encourage people to do some Karma Yoga. So that often means some volunteer work in the yoga studio. The yoga studio itself might be for profit, but they're asking people to do, or encouraging people to do Karma Yoga, to come and volunteer and do some free volunteer work in the studio. So that might be a really rudimentary idea of what Karma Yoga is. Otherwise, you might go to an ashram that is not for profit. It exists as a place of learning, and often people there, they might be taking yoga teacher training, but that part of the requirement is that everyone has to do a few hours of Karma Yoga every day. And that means that you do some menial service, some cleaning in the ashram, some helping in the kitchen, some engagement of one's skill in some volunteer capacity. So what do you think? Is that what Karma Yoga is, or is Karma Yoga something more than that? Today, we will have the chance to find out. We're going to get an explanation from one of these kings of yoga, the Yogendras. And just for context, the King Deha is asking these 9 yogis questions about spiritual life. He asks 9 questions. Each question is responded to by a different Yogendra, by a different yogi. Today's question, Karma Yoga. We're discussing Canto 11, Chapter 3, verses 34 to 55. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're going to discuss this as usual under 3 headings. 1, questions of a saintly king, verses 41 and 42. Prescribed duties, verses 43 to 46. And then, I bet you didn't see this coming, deity worship, verses 47 to 55. So we begin with the first section, questions of a saintly king. Nimi, he asks, dear sages, please speak about the process of Karma Yoga. A person who is purified by this process can quickly free themselves from material activities, even in this life, and live on the transcendental platform. Then he says something really interesting. He said, once in the past, in the presence of my father, Maharaj Ikshvaku, I asked this question before the Santa Kumars, the 4 sons of Brahma. What's even more interesting is that he says that they weren't able to answer his question. So he says, please explain this to me. So very, very interesting. King Ikshvaku, he is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Which chapter? Chapter 4, where Krishna tells Arjuna, Imam vivashvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivishvan manave praha manur ikshvakave bravit. In the beginning, I taught this knowledge to Vivishvan, the sun god. Vivishvan explained it to Manu, who taught it to Ikshvaku. And so here we are. The son of Ikshvaku, Nimi, is asking these questions. So we have great authorities here, from Krishna to Vivishvan, the sun god, who is, and Manu. So Vaivashvata Manu, he is a great authority on Dharma and truth. And now his son is asking these questions. And he says, I asked this question of the Santa Kumars. They didn't answer me. They couldn't tell me. So that's curious. Any thoughts on why? Why didn't the four Kumars answer this question? What was the issue there? I can venture that, actually I'm going to leave this open. You can see if you can offer a response in the chat. We can just reflect on Nimi's example and his persistence. So he's really showing us the importance of seeking transcendental knowledge in the association of advanced devotees. He is a Rajarshi or a Rajarishi. Krishna also mentions the Rajarishi in the 4th chapter. Evam param para praptam imam rajas sayo vidu sakaleniya mahata. He says this knowledge was taught in a chain of teachers of saintly kings, Rajarshi. So the Rajarishi, the saintly king, seeks out the association of sages, of devotees, and asks questions to deepen their own spiritual understanding, but also the spiritual understanding of others. Actually, I want to go back to the Sanskrit because I'm a bit puzzled by something. In the past, I asked this question in the presence of my father, Ikshvaku. Okay, so that's actually not there in the Sanskrit. I have to question this because his father is Rishabdev. Oh no, the father of the 9 Yogendras is Rishabdev. So Nimi's father is Ikshvaku. Good. Forgive me for that. Okay, so he shows his persistence. He asked the same question of the 4 Kumaras, and now he's asking it of the Nava Yogendras as well, really showing us a good example. He's a king. Sometimes a leader is assumed to have all the answers, to know everything, to know what to do. And here, King Nimi is showing us that the leader is humble. The leader doesn't have to pretend to have all wisdom, all knowledge, but the leader can go with humility and seek learning from those who are more advanced, particularly when it comes to spiritual life. So submissive inquiry doesn't make one look foolish. Rather, it's an indication of humility and, in fact, wisdom. So that's a really important lesson for all of us, and a wonderful example being shown here by King Nimi and so many other kings of the Bhagavatam, but Nimi particularly here. He's the person asking the questions, and he's telling us, I've been asking these questions even of other great sages like the 4 Kumaras. Okay, let's see in the chat if there are any thoughts as to why the 4 Kumaras didn't answer. So, yeah, nobody's ventured a response here. Let me offer something. So, the 4 Kumaras are renunciants. And karma yoga is generally for grahastas. And these 4 Kumaras, from their very birth, renounced householder life, renounced family life. Their father, Brahma, wanted them to have children, and they refused. So he cursed them to forever remain as 5-year-old bodies. And so they took that as a blessing because they will remain forever as brahmacharis. And so brahmacharis don't practice karma yoga as such, or sannyasis don't practice karma yoga as such. Maybe brahmacharis, but generally it's the grihastas. So there's a response to that question. Let's go to the next topic where we start to receive a response. What is karma yoga? Avihotra. He is the yogi who responds, and he says there are 3 types of action described in the Veda. These are prescribed duties, forbidden activities, and he says non-performance of such duties. So that language is a little confusing. In the Gita, Krishna, he describes karma, akarma, and vikarma. So pious acts, and then non-acts, and then forbidden acts. So we can say Avihotra is bringing up the same idea here. He begins by saying that the Veda is the authority on what is prescribed, what is forbidden, and then also how to transcend. And he says the Veda is the authority because it is the sound incarnation of Krishna. He says, but your question is a good question. It's very bewildering. Even great learned scholars, we might say like the 4 Kumaras, are bewildered in their attempts to understand the subtlety of karma yoga. Hence our introductory story there about karma yoga maybe being emphasized in yoga retreats or yoga studios as some voluntary work, but actually it's much more profound and deep than that. So let's begin with prescribed duties then. It says prescribed duties are pious acts. Pious acts that are described in the Veda. So ethics, morality. We get injunctions like be compassionate, be merciful, be truthful, be clean, be disciplined. So those are prescriptions given in the Veda. Those are injunctions. And then we are also given restrictions. Don't engage in gambling, don't engage in intoxication and meat eating, don't engage in illicit sex. So those are regulations that are given in the Veda. What is pious and what is impious is described. And so those prescriptions, those are pious actions. When we live a pious life, we are rewarded with good karma. So karma here means karmic action, means pious karma. Pious karmic action is referred to in the Veda as karma, the path of karma. For more than just being pious, then there are activities like offering sacrifice, performing yagyas, doing good deeds towards others. And then there are the rules related to our different stages in life. So particularly for the grihasta, there's brahmacharya, and there's at the beginning, at the end, there's brahmacharya and sannyas, and in the middle there's grihasta ashram. And so how the grihasta is to live, how they should earn as a brahmana, as a kshatriya, as a vaishya, or as a sudra, that is as a teacher, or as an administrator landowner, or as a merchant, or as a worker. These injunctions are given in the Veda. They should live. What are their duties to be performed? How one can earn, what are the responsibilities for earning in different ways, and what is the etiquette in dealing with others who earn in other ways, and so on and so forth. So this is all described in the Veda, and when we align with those injunctions of Varna and Ashrama, then we live a dharmic life, and a dharmic life, or a virtuous life, leads to good karma. So that is referred to then as karma, the path of karma, or the karma kanda section of the Veda, how to live a good and pious life following Vedic injunctions. Now, the Veda says if you do live this way, you'll get all kinds of benefit: long life, beauty, strength, fame in your next life. You'll be born into a good family, or maybe you'll be born into heavenly realms where you'll have opportunity to enjoy sense gratification. But our yogi here, Sage Avihotra, says actually this is not really the purpose. It says it's more like an enticement that the Vedas give, like a parent promising candy to their child so that they'll take their medicine. It's not really the purpose of Vedic injunctions, but at a basic level, if that's what motivates people to be pious, then well and good. Okay, forbidden action then are the things we shouldn't do. So we gave examples: don't engage in meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. But more broadly than that, forbidden action includes anything that brings about negative karmas. So stealing, lying, cheating, earning by corrupt means, bribery, causing harm to others. These are all the forbidden actions of the Veda. They're called adharma. They lead to lower realms. They lead to great suffering. In the future, they cause negative reactions. And then finally, there is akarma. Akarma is when one acts with detachment. So performs the prescribed duties, but with a sense of detachment, that we're doing this as a duty. One follows the Vedic injunctions, but out of duty rather than to get the rewards. And then when this akarma, non-action, is offered to Krishna with no desire for material reward, it transforms into karma yoga, which purifies the heart and then leads to bhakti and pure bhakti. So in this way, the Veda is offering this guidance to us. What is karma? What is vikarma? What is akarma? And this is important for understanding karma yoga. Okay, let's go to the third topic then. And this third topic is very interesting, maybe even surprising, and that is deity worship. What has that to do with what we've been discussing thus far? So our speaker, Avihotra, says, one who desires to quickly cut the knot of false ego that binds the soul should engage in archana, should engage in worship of Krishna by the regulations of the Vedas, specifically the Tantras. So that's something we can discuss in more detail. The Tantras. The Tantras and the Agamas. He says one should receive the mercy of the spiritual master who teaches the disciple how to perform worship. Perform worship for Krishna in a personal form. There are many different incarnations. He says the devotee should worship that form of the Lord that one feels most attracted to. Rama, Narasimha, Vishnu, Hayagriva, and then Krishna. He says that before engaging the worship, one must ensure that one is pure. So there has to be a purification, cleansing the body with water, wearing clean clothes, performing achman. He says perform pranayam. That's breathing is also like a pranayam breathing, also cleanses the mind, focuses the mind. Bhuta Shuddhi, that's a meditation that one engages in. He says one should mark the body with sacred tilak for protection, and then one should sit in front of the deity to perform the worship. The devotee should gather the ingredients for worship and be ready to make the offerings. They should sprinkle their sitting place before sitting down so that it is pure, and prepare the deity's bathing water and other paraphernalia. And then once everything is ready, the devotee should bring the deity to their proper place mentally, so manasa puja, and then physically, concentrating the mind. Then the devotee will bathe the deity and then mark the deity with tilak and offering the different upacharas or offerings with the appropriate mantra. He says that we offer water to wash the feet of the deity. We offer water to offer the deity's mouth. We offer water for all around auspiciousness, water for bathing. We offer fine clothing. We offer ornaments, scented oil, ornaments, garlands, incense, and lamps. And there are mantras for making these different offerings. And these mantras are learned from the spiritual master. And he says, once you've completed the worship, according to these injunctions, then one should honor the deity with prayers and offer humble obeisances by bowing down. And while offering obeisances and prayers, the devotee should become absorbed, meditating on one's total servant and being the deity, engaging in worshiping the deity, and remembering that the deity is also situated in one's own heart and in the hearts of all living beings. Then a person, after completing worship, should take the prasadam, the remnants of the deity. This means flower garlands, food that's been offered, sandalwood paste, and so on. These things should be honored. The bathing water. And then the deity should be returned to their place, the altar, we could say. And in this way, the worship is concluded. So we can reflect here on Avihotra's instructions. I think a question that I asked you is, why did he bring this up within the context of karma yoga? And let's see if anyone's ventured a response in the chat. Okay, so the reason why he's brought this up within the context of karma yoga is because karma yoga grihastas, varna, ashrama, dharma, the injunctions of varna, particularly of the varna dharma, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. So that's ashrama dharma and varna dharma, the brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, sudra, and how to earn, how to live, how to the benefits, but also the responsibilities for each of these different varnas. These very much to the grihastha ashram. And so here, Avihotra is teaching us how to make karma as karma yoga by dedicating it to Vishnu. And he's saying you can dedicate to Vishnu by deity worship. If you bring the deity into your home, then your home is no longer just a home. It's a place of worship. It becomes like an ashram. And your cooking and cleaning is no longer just cooking and cleaning. It becomes seva, deity seva. It was Vishnu, Aradhana, worship of Vishnu. And your family members are no longer just your spouse and your children, but they are fellow sevaks engaged in seva. And so deity worship shifts the focus of one's life from a life that's just based on material attachment to seva, to service. And so it helps make our karma activity, pious Vedic activity, into karma yoga by making it selfless service, where we're engaging in the duties as a sense that we're engaging in the Vedic injunctions with a sense of duty and attachment as an offering of service to Vishnu. And then this comes bhakti. So the line between karma yoga and bhakti is very slight. Once it is offered to Krishna, then um, it becomes transformed. It becomes transcendental. So let me try to recap then. So the King Nimi asked, what is karma yoga? Our yogi, Avihotra, he says, well, it means following Vedic injunctions. You can do karma, vikarma, or akarma. Karma is pious action, akarma is detached action, and vikarma is impious action that's against Vedic injunction. When you do akarma, that is duties without attachment, that leads to liberation. When you do that, duty without attachment, that is an offering of service to Krishna, that is yoga. And it leads to bhakti. And deity worship is a nice vehicle for how we can achieve that. Just on Monday, on this class, Shamalaki asked about my routine and how I bring spiritual life into my routine. And I said it begins every day with deity worship. So here's that example. And I said, just doing the deity worship focuses my mind, focuses attention. It begins my day with some spiritual practice, connecting with Krishna. It just aligns everything. I've been doing that for decades. The deity is given to me by Indrajuna Maharaj. And so here we see the yogi Avihotra explaining this process, how powerful deity worship is in taking our karma, our pious activity, and making it karma yoga, that is, or akarma, selfless acts dedicated to Krishna that are also karma yoga, leading to bhakti yoga. So let me acknowledge some of you who joined after I started speaking, or just as I started speaking. And then at the same time, if you have any further questions, let me know. I see there's something here on Instagram, so I'll come back and comment on those. So we have here Kirtina, who's joined us from Norway, joins us from Norway every single time we have these discussions. So thank you, Kirtina. We also have my wife, Sri Gandharvika, here in New York City, joining us from work or at the end of the workday, possibly. In either case, we are very happy to see you. Grateful to have you with us. On Instagram, we have Seva Radhika, who says, Hare Krishna, can you please save this video, Prabhu? You know what, Seva Radhika? I can't save it on Instagram. When I go to at the end of the class, it just makes me delete it. But it is saved on my Facebook page. They're all there on my Facebook page. It also automatically saves to YouTube. So if you search Sri Prahlada Facebook, you will find my Facebook page, and all these classes are there. Let's see, I can share a link. If I can share a link with you, may be possible, may not be. I don't want to spend too much. Yeah, okay. I can put a link here for my Facebook page at least, and you'll find these classes in there. So here we are. For you, Seva Radhika. Con 4 says Shamali. Okay, so Shamali, thanks for joining. Kanurya Deva is here. Seva Radhika says, Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. This lecture should be shared worldwide. Worldwide. Most youths are blinded and not following asthmatic injunctions. Yeah, we try to share. That's what we learned from Prabhupada, the importance of sharing this transcendental knowledge. Thank you for that, for your enthusiasm. Devraj, Horrell, Komal Kumari, Aquino, Goma725 says Hare Krishna. Who else? Niraj Gupta, Patel Sahab. I'm not getting everyone. Janardan Das, Krishna Yadav. War is sick. Devesh. And some others who we greeted earlier. Rachan. Thank you all for joining for this discussion. Twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shamalaki is with us as well. Welcome, Shamalaki. We just mentioned you. And here you are. We're just saying how you asked a question about my spiritual practice each day. And I said it always begins with deity worship. And then in today's class, we had some discussion on the importance of deity worship in transforming karma, pious Vedic injunction or pious Vedic life, into karma yoga through a practice of deity worship. Very good. Let me conclude here. I wish you all well. I wish you a deepening of your attachment for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam Conform. Thank you for that. I wish you all to deepen your taste for chanting Krishna's holy names. I wish you to deepen your appreciation of deity service, as we've been discussing today. I wish you to deepen your appreciation and attachment for the Dham. That is the places where Krishna's pastimes are performed or where the deity is worshipped. I wish that you deepen your appreciation of Vaishnavas. May you find every opportunity to love Vaishnavas, to serve Vaishnavas, to be in the association of Vaishnavas. And through these practices, may your heart soften with compassion that moves you to share the treasures of bhakti with others. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhaktavinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanal. Thank you all very much.